wanted to talk about this topic about being artificial, being fake. I think it's something that we struggle with in our society, being fake. You know, we live in a time where social media is a big thing, obviously, and people are living lives when they're not really living that life. Like, their social media life is not their real life. You know, they'll take pictures in front of cars, they'll take pictures in front of helicopters, and they don't own them. I remember a few years back, I was in the city going to my game, you know, when I used to play basketball, and I saw this person, you know, with a camera in their, and you know, they had a camera in front of them, and they're running, they're high stepping, and they're so excited, and they're, come on, man, we gotta push in. And once the camera came off, his shoulders sunk down, the head was down, and you would have thought that their fucking dog died in regards to how this person looked. But yet 2 seconds before, you thought that person was 𝐥𝐤𝐤 in regards to all the energy that they had. So it's like people are living this lie on camera, and it happens a lot. But in sports, it's really a problem when that happens, because when somebody lives a lie in sports, when that locker room knows the truth, it spills over on the field. It spills over on the court. If I know that you're not like what we see on camera in front of the media, and I know you're a completely different way, and you're supposed to be the leader of my team, we're going to have a problem. I say that because what we're seeing out of Russell Wilson is nothing new. His struggles in Denver, you know, we're seeing some leadership issues in Denver, where his play is not great. He's getting showed up by wide receivers slamming their helmets on the field in frustration of, you know, them not getting a target, being wide open. When you respect somebody who's supposed to be a leader, quarterback, when you're the quarterback of the team, that is the position, right? You never try to show up your quarterback. You never see anybody slamming helmets when Tom Brady's on the field. You'll never see somebody slamming a helmet when Peyton Manning was playing. John, you know, all the greats, you can name them all, right? But we're seeing certain things happen with Russell Wilson. We've heard stories of when he was in Seattle of teammates saying that he isn't who he is on camera behind the scenes. So there was a podcast that happened between Richard Sherman interviewed former teammate Marshon, what's his name? Beast Mode. Marshon Lynch. Lynch's last name? Yeah. Where Marshon Lynch was saying that he would love to talk to Russell Wilson about his struggles in Denver and what's going on, but don't have his number. He has to speak to a representative to get through to Russell Wilson. So said that if I got to speak to your reps to talk to you, I'm not going to talk to you. It's not going to happen. So for me, if I'm a former teammate of yours and I have to speak to a middle person before I get to you, that's a problem. You know, I'm not some magazine that's trying to get a hold of you. I'm a teammate that you played with for several years. And if you hear Russell Wilson speak, you would think that he's all Mr. Team. And no, that's not what it is. He makes awkward fucking TikTok videos. If you've ever seen it, please go watch it, because you need to see the car wreck for yourself. You can smell the fraud in him of who he's trying to be, what he's trying to portray on camera. And in football, in sports, that don't work. Because if your teammates know who you are and you try to be who you are on this camera and be this good guy, and they don't think that you're that good of a person, it will show. And I think that's what Seattle saw. I think that's why Seattle decided to trade him. Talented, yes, but when there's an erosion in trust in regards to that locker room, it's a lot of times when you can't repair that. And I am waiting for that 30 for 30 to come out on those Seattle Seahawks, because the stories that will come out in regards to what players really thought of Russell Wilson is going to be, it may be damning to his career, maybe not, but it might be revealing in regards to going forward for other people of there's no reason to be that way. You can be successful without alienating people. And, you know, we were talking off camera about money changing you. Money doesn't have to change you. It changes your situation. It doesn't change how you interact with people, I don't believe. You know, you maybe be able to protect yourself a little more, but if I'm a millionaire and I'm surrounded by other millionaires, I don't see the reason why I have to put on a facade or be fake. You know, people would always make fun of Tim Tebow, right? But the one thing that people can never say about Tebow is that he was a fraud. Tebow's cheesy, Tebow's corny, but that's who he is. Tom Brady. Tom Brady's the person that you see is who he is in the locker room. You've never heard a teammate say anything negative about Tom Brady. You've heard negative things about Aaron Rodgers, but you've never heard fake. You've heard that he's a dick. You know what I mean? You've heard certain things, but I'd rather be labeled an asshole or something like that than be labeled fake, because I think being labeled fake is harder to do. Like, that's like you're putting on a suit every day that's not you. It's fucking work. You know what I mean? And for Russell Wilson, I don't know how he bounces back from this, because the cat's out of the bag. I've seen it for years. Him getting married to Ciara. I mean, listen, she's a big star, but there's no reason for you to turn a certain way. You know what I mean? And I think what's going on with him now, he's gonna have to try to find a way to find himself as the leader of whatever team he's gonna be with going forward. You know, he's with the Broncos right now, but he's gonna have to find a way to connect with these players, because people want to see him fail because he's such a fraud. You know what I mean? And that's unfortunate because he's a talented guy, but if you really are this fake person, it's unfortunate because, I don't like to see that myself. I can smell frauds around me. You know what I mean? I don't like people who kind of like pussyfoot around, beat around the bush. They're passive aggressive. Those people I despise. I despise passive aggressiveness. Like, you'll hear certain comments about, hey, maybe, like, no, just tell me direct. Be honest. We're men. We're grown-ups. We're adults. Don't be passive aggressive. And I think that's what the Seattle Seahawks, that's what Marshon Lynch, Richard Sherman, all the other guys in Seattle with the Legion of Boom in those years, they had to deal with. And you had Pete Carroll, who was the head coach, that had to try to navigate that situation of, okay, how do I get them to follow this kid when he's not being genuine? You know what I mean? Like, be genuine. Be who you are. If you're going to be a jerk, but be a leader, lead by example, have a great work ethic, but don't be fake. You know what I mean? Like, just don't do it, man. Don't do it.